Alright, so now this last video is just going to be some repetition. We got 3 proofs to knock out, so let's just dive in, alright? So given AE is congruent to BD, angle AB and angle C are right angles, B is the midpoint of AC. Woo, so a lot of givens. So let's just go ahead and draw all these. AE is congruent to BD. Told us that these were right angles, we already see that. And since B is the midpoint of AC, I should know that and that. So just by drawing on the picture, I kind of already have the rough draft in my head. I kind of know where I'm going with things, all right? So I already put the givens for you now. Triangle AB and triangle, whew, I can barely read today. Sometimes they'll say specifically that they're right triangles, because that is an important piece of information. I might talk about right angles being congruent, but nonetheless, we'll kind of revisit that here again in the future. But now I can say, specifically using midpoint, I can say AB is congruent to BC by definition of midpoint. So I have right triangles. Specifically in this right triangle, I have a hypotenuse, I have a leg. All right. So therefore, I can say that triangle AB is congruent to triangle BCD by hypotenuse leg. All right, I'll even write this one out. Hypotenuse leg. All right, all the other ones are just a combination of angles inside. This one's a little bit more quirky. It's HL, hypotenuse leg. All right. Now, let's knock this one out. Given, all right, it gave me a bunch of angles. Furthermore, it actually drew on the picture for me. You have that angle. We have these 2 angles right here. All right, so we already have 2 angles given to us. Now, we haven't practiced this since the first video or something like that, but we have to know MO is congruent to MO. We have to know that by just looking at the picture. It's a shared side. They're congruent to each other by the reflexive property. All right, now let me think about things. I have an angle, I have an angle, I have a side. Now just focusing on this gray triangle, notice how this side only touches one of the congruent angles. It's not included, all right? So just how the side only touches one of the angles, the S will only touch one of the A's. It's very purposeful how we write this. Angle, angle, side. And then last one, and then we're done. Sweet. DA is congruent to CA, all right? DA is congruent to CA. And those 2 angles are congruent, given, all right? And something I have to be good at, 1 billion out of 1 billion times, I have to successively identify that these 2 angles are congruent, all right? I have to know that angle EAD is congruent to angle BAC because they're vertical angles. I have to know that, no options. All right. Now, if I look at things, I can realize I have an angle, a side, an angle, all right? And in this triangle right here, notice how this side is touching both of the congruent angles, all right? It's included, all right? So, just how the side is between both angles, when I write this out, the S will be between both A's. Angle, side, angle. All right, that's it for today. Have a good rest.